Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day today here at the Newell Coach Factory in Miami, Oklahoma. And on this coach behind me here, I see something that I have never seen before. This is part of the new N1 system that Newell Coach has just launched. Let's go see if we can't track down James, the VP of Engineering, and have him explain this system for us. Hey, we found James. Hey, how you doing today, sir?
How are you doing?
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too. I was just looking over, this coach is getting really close to finishing. I was just going through our new N1 system.
Yeah, I've been hearing all about the new N1 system. Can you tell us a little bit about this new system, sir?
Sure. So this coach is, a couple weeks from done. We're getting real close. So we're real proud of this new N1 system. If you've been through some of our older coaches and noticed the switches on the wall, the red and blue switches that you used to see through the coach, this replaces all of those with a new touch panel design. Still retains kind of the look and feel. We made the icons larger than the buttons were before, so it's easier to read, easier to function. We got more functionality in each panel. Before we may have a lot of those red and blue switches up there, and now we consolidate that into one screen. We can do shades, sunscreens, all of our lights. Each panel has a home page with kind of the most frequently used functions for that zone. At each home page, and each section of the coach is organized that way, which is real nice and convenient and concise. Those will go to sleep after a while, so they're not on all the time. We're real excited about it, and it looks really good. Another feature I wanted to show you up here at the entry panel. This is coming right inside the door. Of course, there's the home screen with the things you use the most. We've got a set of our inside switches as we're entering the coach, and then we wanted to have control of the outside. Something unique, this coach has RGB accent lighting under the coach and the patio box and the belt rail. And what's unique about this is as you cycle through, whatever color is being displayed on the RGB is the color the button changes to, which is a really cool feature.
Oh, look at that. Are these panels that I'm seeing here and then also in the bedroom back there, are those part of the N1 system?
Correct. So it's a combination of either 7-inch screens or 5-inch screens. Everything in the front of the coach at the main areas, the galley, the salon, and the entry have the 7-inch screens. Kind of everything in the back half of the coach will be the smaller 5-inch screens, just because we didn't need the big screens back there. But the functionality is very much the same. Multiple panels, you can get to the lights, pocket doors, different light functions, and those are again zoned for each section that they're in.
I noticed something down in the basement bays that was part of the N1 system. What other features does this N1 system have?
So what you probably didn't see down there was a lot of fuses. So all the 12-volt fuses go away with this system. It's a solid state system that monitors the amperage on each circuit. And what's cool about it is if you do have an issue with any particular light circuit, you can go right to the panel. For instance, if we had a fault on the powder room, that button would change to yellow to indicate that there's a short or an over amperage in that system. And from right here, you could press and hold that button and reset the circuit. Now, say for example, there was a short in that circuit, it would pop right back to yellow, and then we would need to call service for a little more support, and we can go to a diagnostic screen that I'll show you a little bit later, and service can kind of help walk the customer through diagnosis of what's going on there. But super simple. It's going to be a very good system. The other nice thing about having a solid state versus a fuse is fuses can sometimes be a little susceptible to heat, so in the middle of summer you actually have a little bit lower amp rating than you do in the winter, just because that's how the nature of how a fuse works. And so this is always accurate. You get the most accurate amperage reading on that circuit all the time.
Very cool.
Andrew, we're going to set up a little simulation here to kind of show you what happens if a fuse overcurrents. So I've got my guys outside. They're going to just basically short out a circuit to show what happens when we have an event.
Oh,
so
there we go.
as you can see, the salon light went out.
Yes, sir. So we got Brad, one of the engineers here at Newell Coach. So what are you going to do to simulate this test?
Well, I'm just going to short one circuit to ground,
Yes, sir.
And so I'm choosing the salon lights here, and then I'll short it right to ground like that, and you can see it here.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Now, over here on the salon panel, you can see the salon light is illuminated yellow. That's to indicate that there's a fault. And also, if we go up here to the diagnostic screen, you can see that zone is also indicating a fault. So very easily the customer can see that there's an issue. Obviously they would know that because the light's out, but if it didn't. So to reset that, you simply come up here, touch it, and it will reset. So now it's reset, and then our light functions properly.
And we're back in the game.
Yeah.
Very
easy.
cool. So what are some of the other features of the N1 system?
So for us internally, and even for service ongoing, used to be if you had a panel that failed for whatever reason, we would have to order the exact panel for that exact location for that exact coach. That's not the case anymore. So with these panels, we can basically go in here, and you can see this one says hall bath entry. That's the position of this panel. If we hold that down for 5 seconds, now we can reset this panel to any of the 5-inch locations. So all we have to do is put in the program, send it to the customer, set up the panel, and we're not it's not such a long lead time to get a replacement if there is an issue, which is very nice. The other thing that does is if the customer did have a panel go down and needed a particular function that was on a particular panel, you just change the setting to what that panel was at any of these other panel locations, and you can keep going. If that didn't work for you, you can always go back to the diagnostic screen. I'll show you later. So it gives some redundancy. It's a lot easier for the customer.
Your coaches before this were already incredible. What's the reason that Newell coach stepped up to this new system?
So you see a lot of the marketplaces go into these touch screens, and we were a bit apprehensive just because of our typical demographic, but as you see more of our customer base going to iPhones and iPads, and their touch screens are becoming more prevalent. They understand, going from screen to screen to do different functions. But at the end of the day, if we've really implemented this correctly, it's kind of seamless to the customer. It's easy to use, it's intuitive. They got the right buttons in the right spots, and it just works.
I did see some components downstairs that I just showed the folks on YouTube. What's going on down there?
So that's a very modularized system. It works. It's very easy to diagnose. If there is an issue, we can. There's a diagnostic screen that I'll show you that we can go exactly to where an error may be, what to do with it. It will be at that screen. If there is a card that goes down, it's very easy to pop that out and replace it with a new one. Quick program, and you're up and running. As opposed to before, that was a pretty elaborate tear down of that system downstairs to do a repair. Now it's super easy.
Has this technology been used in other industries, or is this proven technology?
So it's been out in the marketplace in the marine application for about 3 years. In a lot smaller form factor, obviously. On most of the marine vehicles it's on, vessels it's on, there's not as many circuits. So for us to implement it they had to make it scalable a little bit, so that took a little bit of research and development on their end to get it in place, but it has been out in the market in marine for about 3 years now.
So you guys aren't the guinea pigs then?
Not the guinea pigs. That part of it is all proven out. Kind of what we had to get through was the programming to get the screens to look like our customers are used to seeing, so it wasn't a completely new experience to learn. It's all right there, and I think that's been executed very well.
Anything else you want to share with us about the N1 system?
So the older systems, as I discussed, that fuse panel that was downstairs, if you did have a fault, you'd have to go outside, open the bay, pull the fuse, put the fuse in, and there's some diagnostics along with that you may be working with one of our service techs. With this new system, we also have a diagnostic screen upstairs in the coach, so you don't even have to go out in the hot or the cold or the rain or whatever. And we positioned that up here at the overhead. It's not a commonly used item.
Yeah.
But you can see this is the same screen that we saw downstairs.
Yep.
And as I mentioned, the colors of these are relevant because those match the colors of the actual module that is inside the panel. And so we can go into any one of those. There's a load list that goes along with these numbers. And so each of these numbers is a circuit for inside the coach. So from right here, I can turn the light on and off, which I'm turning on and off the salon right here behind us. And I can get different data about that. It tells me how many amps are being pulled. It tells me whether it's on or off. It tells me how many times this button's been pressed. I'm not sure what we will do with that, but the data is there if we need it. So there's a lot of information, and like I said, this isn't something the customer should typically need to use, but this will be kind of the station that if they call in for service and they've got a problem, you know, we can walk through here and we can get real-time data on what it is they're seeing and experiencing and get a fix to them pretty quick.
So, and then it sounds like rather than having to go in the basement bays and manually flip a breaker like before, they just press a touch screen here?
Right here. All right
Nice.
here. Yeah. So what we're looking at downstairs is, you can see our diagnostics panel here on the end. These colors that you see are relevant to what I'll show you inside the panel. But each one of these are color coded for the different circuits in the coach, and there's a load list to go along with these. You can individually turn circuits on and off right here as an override to any of the panels that, you know, something might happen with. You can function everything in the coach here at this panel as a backup. So if we look inside the panel, now this can be a little bit overwhelming, but everything here has a meaning. But you can see these colors of these cards coincide with what we were looking at on the front panel. And so that makes it real easy for our service to do diagnostics, and when we're talking with the manufacturer, we can troubleshoot. The other nice thing about these is everything is modular. So unplug one plug, this card can pop out if there's a problem with it, pop a new one in, pop it in, close the cover, and you're off and running again. So it's a great system, really modular, easy to troubleshoot, and it's going to work really well for us. It's not something that you don't see down here is a lot of fuses, as we saw in the older coach. So we used to have all of our 12-volt fuse bank down here. Now that that's all solid state, that took away the need for the fuses. So it's very accurately monitoring the amperage that goes to each circuit. We can set that amperage for each circuit. All those fuses go away, so if you have a problem that we'll look at a little later, if you have a circuit that blows a fuse, so to speak, it's easily resettable right at the panel where the light circuit switch is.
Okay, so these are all the N1 system panels here, and then you've got one on each side of the bed, and I've got to compliment that underlit agate countertop. Just those are beautiful, unbelievable. I look forward to showing this coach off in another video too.
And also in the bedroom here, we've got a fixed screen for our Intrepid controls at the forward side of the bed, and then we got an iPad at the aft side of the bed that obviously you can remove, but that's so each person has access to all the coach controls.
Okay. Nice.
Back here in the bathroom, one of the things that's unique is, you know, so there's usually a heater in the bath if you get a little cold, knock the chill off, but from right here we can control that zone. They can actually come here and turn up the heat in this particular zone. Each of the bathrooms has this built into that panel, which is kind of a cool feature.
Will the air conditioning controls be on this panel or only in the bathrooms?
So the one in the bathroom is only for the heat in this particular section. The aqua hot heater is zoned to this. All of the air conditioning controls goes through that main Intrepid panel.
Okay, very cool. Yes, only the heat. Okay.
Only the heat.
Is this heated floors in this bathroom?
All heated floors as well.
Yes, sir.
Actually, all through this coach, everything in the coach except for just the very front underneath the driver's feet is all heated.
That's a really good explanation. Is there anything else that you want to share with us about the N1 system?
Well, you know, it's pretty short and sweet, but you know, at the end of the day, done right, there's not a lot to it. It just does what it's supposed to do. So just go to the panel, touch the screen, that lights it up, press the button you want for the circuit to go on and off, and it just works.
You guys are making Newell coach owners' life easier by the day.
It is. And the other thing it did for us, and I didn't mention this too much, but you know, we used to have a lot of those red and blue switches kind of all over. And this has allowed us to kind of clean that up. You know, if you look over here to the wall systems,
Yeah.
you know, we don't have all those
clean,
switches in certain locations. We've selectively located the panels where they're going to be used most often, like your main seating area, the galley, the entryway, and both sides of the bed. But the rest of those switches could kind of go away, clean it up, make it look nice and clean.
Very cool. James, I can't thank you enough for sharing that information with myself and the folks on YouTube. If someone is serious about buying a new Newell coach and that has the N1 system in it, who should they get a hold of?
They can get a hold of any of our sales staff. They can see us on www.newellcoach.com.
James, can't thank you and the team at Newell Coach enough for this opportunity. I also greatly appreciate all of you out there on YouTube subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thanks, Andrew, and thanks everybody out there. Have a great day.